Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Baseball greetings, Panther fans, from right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex. Billy Smallwood coming to you live from the FL Davis Ace broadcast position as your Heber Springs Panthers are on the diamond today to take on the Lone Oak Jackrabbits. We're going to have a moment here to honor the national anthem, and we will return right back with baseball action. All right, so baseball action here from the Heber Springs Sports Complex as the Lone Oak Jackrabbits and your Heber Springs Panthers are on the diamond today for this conference doubleheader. I want to take this opportunity to thank some of our baseball, softball boosters for allowing us to bring you the live streams. First Electric Cooperative, Ed LaShawn State Farm Insurance, First National Bank, Reed Hutchins Pharmacy, Hopper Termite, and Pest Control. Thank you to all these baseball and softball boosters for allowing us to bring you today's live stream. Trying to get the records pulled up here for you for your Heber Springs Panthers and the Lone Oak Jackrabbits. Lone Oak comes in the defending 4A state champions. So tough task on the dime today for your Heber Springs Panthers as a few changes are being sorted out here on the field, and then we will have baseball action here in just a few moments as Jackson Engel will lead it off for the Lone Oak Jackrabbits. He is a UCA commit and a very good baseball player for the Lone Oak Jackrabbits. Once again, they are the 4A defending state champions, so he will lead it off for the Jackrabbits. Ty West will be on the bump today for your Panthers. Still trying to get those records for you there, Panther fans. Take a rundown of the lineup for your Panthers. Leading off for Heber Springs will be Joel Atwood. He's playing in center field. Batting second is Cooper Holmes. He's playing at shortstop today. Ty West is on the bump. Gavin Widener behind the dish. Xander Lindley is playing at first base today. Maddox Shoemate. Looks like Maddox is playing at second. Logan Lozo's the designated hitter. Nathan Weaver playing in right, Tanner Graham in left, and Lachlan Tubbs playing at third base. And Jackson Engel steps in for the Lone Oak Jackrabbits to take the first pitch for a ball down low for an 0-1 count. Pardon me, a 1-0 count. Second pitch is also low. Count goes to 2-0. Three 0 count here to Jackson Engel. That one's in there for a strike to make the count 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike here to Jackson Engel for the Jackrabbits. Takes ball 4 outside. And Lone Oak has a runner at first here with no outs here in the top of the first inning. Cutter Colvert will come to the plate now for the Jackrabbits. He's playing at third base today for Lone Oak. He's got a runner at first and no outs here in the top of the first. And here comes the 0-0 pitch from Ty West. Hits that one back to Ty off his glove, and then Shoemate fields it from his position at second and gets the lead runner at second base, and Cooper Holmes tries to turn to go to first for the double play, but the ball falls out of his glove. But he does get the lead runner at second, so 1 out here for the Jackrabbits here in the top of the first, and a runner still at first, as Panthers did get the lead runner. And that brings up number 32. That is Cole Spears, the shortstop for the Jackrabbits. And here comes the 0-0 pitch from Ty West. Fires back to first to check on the runner. Pitch is outside. Runner goes. Widener fires. And runner is safe in there for the Jackrabbits at second base. Count goes to 1-0 here. Chops that one foul. Count goes to 1-1 here. That one escapes Shoemate over there at second and rolls into center field, but runner is safe back at second. Count still 1-1 here to Cole Spears. The 1-1 pitch is inside, and it plunks Spears. Looks like it got him on the leg, and he's going to walk down to first. Runners at first and second now for the Jackrabbits. One out here in the top of the first. Brings up number 45. That is Zavine Dyer. He's playing first base for the Jackrabbits. Takes first pitch outside for a ball. Count goes to 1-0 here to Dyer. Comes the 1-0 pitch from West. Dyer swings and misses at that one. Count goes to 1-1 here. One pitch from West. Here it comes. And that one plunks Dyer on the shoulder. He's going to walk down to first, and bases are now loaded for the Jackrabbits with one out here in the top of the first inning. And that will bring up the dangerous Arkansas commit, Steele Eves. So number 13, Steele Eves, will step in for the Jackrabbits. He's on the mound today for Lone Oak. Bases are loaded. One out here for the Jackrabbits in the top of the first. And here comes the 0-0 pitch from West. Outside to Eves, and the count goes to 1-0. Going to have a little bit of discussion here between the coach and the umpire. All right, so back to action here. Eves steps into the batter's box with bases loaded. Here comes the 1-0 pitch from Ty West. Eves hits that one to third. Lachlan Tubbs corrals it, but then no play is made as runner gets in for the Jackrabbits to make it 1-0 in favor of Lone Oak. Just no play to be made there for Lachlan Tubbs at third, but he did a good job of knocking it down there as Eves got a little rip on it there, and runners are safe all around. So one out here for the Jackrabbits in the top of the first and a 1-0 lead for Lone Oak. And that brings up the center fielder. That is number 9, Tripp Sullivan, for the Jackrabbits to the plate now with bases loaded and one out in the top of the first. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Chops that one foul. Sullivan swings and chops that one foul down the third base line. Count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Sullivan. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from Ty West. High and outside, count goes to 2-2. Pardon me, 1-2 here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sullivan takes ball 4. That's a So Sullivan hit by pitch, and he heads down to first. Lone Oak now leads 2-0 as a runner comes in to score off that hit by pitch. And now count goes to 0-1 here to Wallace. That is Peyton Wallace. Peyton Wallace, the second baseman for the Jackrabbits. Here comes a pitch from West. Pops that one out to the right fielder running for it. Fires it back into Shoemate, and 2 runs are going to score for the Jackrabbits as the ball gets back into Holmes at second. And that makes it 4-0 in favor of Lone Oak here in the top of the first inning. Still one out here for the Jackrabbits. Runners at first and third for Lone Oak. And that brings up number 15. That is Kalen Calhoun for the Jackrabbits. He is the designated hitter for Lone Oak. And he will step into the batter's box with a 4-0 lead and only one out here in the top of the first inning and runners at first and third. Here comes the pitch from Ty West, and that one's high. Runner goes. The ball goes directly back to Ty West, so he just corrals it, and looked like they were trying to bait the runner into maybe a throw to home, but no going there, and runner is safe at second for the Jackrabbits with a 1-0 count here. Here comes the 1-0 pitch from Ty West. Outside. Pardon me, I said outside. Umpire says it's a strike. Count goes to 1-1. Strike number 2 there on Calhoun. Runners at second and third for the Jackrabbits. 4-0 lead. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from West. In the dirt. Count goes to 2-2. And that was a strikeout for Ty West as Calhoun strikes out here for the second out for the Jackrabbits here in the top of the first inning. Number 29, Tanner Starks, comes to the plate now for Lone Oak. He is playing in left field for the Jackrabbits. And here comes the yellow pitch from Ty West. He squares to bunt, pops that one foul over towards the Heber Springs dugout on the third base side. And that will be an 0-1 count here to Tanner Starks. Starks squares the bunt again, takes that one, pulls back. Count will even up at 1-1. Swings and misses from Starks. Count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Tanner Starks. Lone Oak leads 4-0 here in the top of the first inning with 2 outs and runners at second and third. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 for Tanner Starks and a strikeout once again for Ty West. And that's the third out for the Jackrabbits as we head to the bottom of the first inning. Your Panthers trail 4-0 here to the Lone Oak Jackrabbits from right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex. We're going to take a chance to thank some of our Panther baseball, softball boosters for allowing us to bring you today's live stream. Renewed Church, Arrows Cafe and Barbecue, Centennial Bank, Advanced Insurance Services, a resource center for United Healthcare, and Stevenson Oil Company. We want to thank all these Panther baseball and softball boosters for allowing us to bring you today's live stream. And we will return back to the FL Davis Ace broadcast position here in just a few moments. You're watching and listening to Heber Springs Panther Baseball on 101.9 The Lake. right, back to action here from the Heber Springs Sports Complex. Billy Smallwood coming to you live from the F.L. Davis Ace broadcast position. And Joel Atwood will lead it off for your Heber Springs Panthers, trailing 4-0 here in the bottom of the first inning to the defending 4A state champion, the Lone Oak Jackrabbits. Steele Eves, the Arkansas commit, on the mound for Lone Oak, and the first pitch from Eves in the dirt for a ball. Count goes to 1-0 here to Atwood. Second pitch is popped up by Atwood behind home plate. Catcher going for it, and no plays made, so count will even up at 1-1 here to Atwood. So now 1-1 pitch to Atwood is outside. Count goes 2-1. That one's a strike to Atwood. Count evens up at 2-2 here. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That one hits Atwood. He heads down to first. Runner at first here for your Panthers. No outs in the bottom of the first. And that brings up Cooper Holmes. Runner at first for your Panthers. No outs. Bottom of the first, trailing 4-0. And here comes a pitch to Holmes. He squares the bunt. And then a throw down to first. Atwood gets up, and he's going to go for second as the ball gets passed. And he's going to be safe. So count will be 1-0 here to Holmes, and a runner at second for your Heber Springs Panthers with no outs here in the bottom of the first. And Cooper Holmes at the plate. Pitch to Holmes is swung on and missed for strike 2. Eves gets the sign. Here comes the 0-2 pitch, and Holmes pops that one out to second base. He's able to, it gets past him and gets out to right field. Atwood is held up at third. And runners will be safe at first and third for your Panthers with no outs here in the bottom of the first. And Ty West comes to the plate now for Heber Springs. So Ty West steps into the batter's box now for Heber Springs. Runners at first and third. No outs here for Heber Springs in the bottom of the first inning, trailing 4-0. And here comes the pitch from Eves. It's high to West. Count goes to 1-0. Eves gets the sign. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. West swings and misses. Count evens up at 1-1 here. 1 ball, 1 strike here to Ty West. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Inside to West. Count goes to 2-1. Checks on the runner at first. He's back safely. 2-1 count here to West. Eads gets the sign. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Checks on the, now he's got the runner. He's got Holmes in a pickoff play over between first and second, and they're going to try to run him back, and he's going to be out. A run is going to come in to score, though, for Heber Springs, as Joel Atwood comes in to score from third, and Cooper Holmes gets caught in the rundown between first and second. So now 1 out here for Heber Springs in the bottom of the first, but they have cut into that lead now for the Jackrabbits as they now trail 4-1 here in the bottom of the first with 1 out and a 2-1 count here to tie West. Here comes a 2-1 pitch. In there, first strike. Count evens up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Strikeout there for Ty West. And 2 outs here for Heber Springs in the bottom of the first. And that will bring up the catcher for your Heber Springs Panthers. That's Gavin Widener coming to the plate now. Gavin steps in and takes the first pitch outside for a ball and a 1-0 count here. That one's in there for a strike. Counts evens up at 1-1 here. Hits that one to shortstop. Engel fields it for the Jackrabbits. Fires over to first. And that is the 6-4 put out. Pardon me, 6-3 put out for the Jackrabbits. And that will be the third out for Heber Springs in the bottom of the first. They get a run on the board and cut into that lead. It's now 4-1 in favor of Lone Oak. And we will head to the top of the second inning. And the Jackrabbits will come to bat here. And we want to take this opportunity to thank some more of our softball and baseball boosters for allowing us to bring you today's live stream. Angie Collins, Shelter Insurance, Brothers Barbecue, Red River Dodge, Baptist Health, Graham Plumbing. I want to thank all these Panther baseball and softball boosters for allowing us to bring you today's live stream. We will return back to the FL Davis Ace broadcast position here in just a few moments in the top of the second inning as your Panthers trail Lone Oak 4-1 here from the Heber Springs Sports Complex. You're watching and listening to Heber Springs Panther Baseball on 101.9 The Lake. Back to action here in the top of the second inning. Billy Smallwood coming to you live from the FL Davis Ace broadcast position from the Heber Springs Sports Complex. And a 1-1 count here to, I believe, that is Jackson Engel. And it is. Jackson Engel hits that one to short. Holmes fires, and he's safe at first. Xander Lindley just couldn't pick that one out of the dirt over there, and Engel is safe at first for the Jackrabbits. And Lone Oak has a runner at first here with no outs here in the top of the second and a 4-1 lead. So Cutter Culvert comes up now for the Jackrabbits. Angle goes, and he's going to be out at second. Oh, whoa. The ball got away from Shoemate out there at second base. He had Engel by a mile, but just couldn't hang on to the baseball as it squirts away from him out to center field. And the runner is safe in Jackson Engel, but Maddox Shoemate had him, and that was a great throw by Gavin Widener to get Engel. Just couldn't hold on to the baseball right there. So Engel's safe at second for the Jackrabbits, and a runner now at second for Lone Oak. No outs here in the top of the second inning. And that one to Culvert is in the dirt. That one's in there for a strike. And I believe the count is 2-1 here to Culvert. Yes, umpire tells us 2 balls and 1 strike again here to Cutter Culvert for the Jackrabbits. And here comes the 2-1 pitch from Ty West in the dirt. Count will go to 3-1. The 3-1 pitch to Culvert. Hits that one to Tubbs, and Tubbs knocks it down, but it's going to get away from him, and everybody's going to be safe for the Jackrabbits. Runners at first and third for Lone Oak with no outs here in the top of the second and a 4-1 lead. And here comes number 22. That is William Payne coming in up to the plate now for the Jackrabbits. He must have replaced somebody in the lineup already because he is not in the lineup. But nevertheless, he's coming to bat now, and he steps into the batter's box with runners at first and third and no outs and a 4-1 lead. And here comes the 0-0 pitch from Ty West. West fakes and checks on a runner at third. No throw. And umpire calls a balk, and runners will advance, and Lone Oak will now lead 5-1 over your Panthers. And runner will head to second. So balk call on Ty West, runner safe at second, and a runner comes home to lead 5-1 now for the Jackrabbits. And here comes the 0-0 pitch. He bunts, and it rolls foul. So a runner will come back. Count will be 0-1, and we're going to have a meeting right here on the mound. Coach Kevin Youngblood going to come out and talk to the Heber Springs Panthers right here. Take this opportunity to thank some more of our boosters and sponsors for allowing us to bring you today's live stream. Tracy Hudspeth, Cleveland County Farm Bureau Insurance. Ivy Physical Therapy, Krista Clemens and Bryce Farmer with First Trust Home Loans. Allen Furniture, Lake Town Wellness. Thank you to all these Panther baseball and softball boosters for allowing us to bring you today's live stream. Once again, Billy Smallwood coming to you live from the F.L. Davis Ace broadcast position right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex on a beautiful day for baseball. And here comes the 0-1 pitch from Ty West. Payne squares the bunt, bunts that one foul. Count will go to 0-2 here to Payne. Still no outs for the Jackrabbits. Top of the second inning. And a runner at second. William Payne at the plate for Lone Oak. Ty West on the mound for Heber Springs. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. It's outside, and count will go to 1-2. Payne hits that one to Tubbs, and he fires back over to Shoemate at second, trying to get the runner, but nothing doing there as was actually caught right there by Tubbs for the first out. Tried to get the double play at second, but nothing doing there as Jackrabbits now have one out here in the top of the second with a 5-1 lead. And here comes Steel Eves, number 45, Zavane Dyer is back into the batter's box now for Lone Oak and takes a first pitch for a ball and a 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch is hit to Tubbs at third. He gathers it and fires over to Lindley at first for the out. They're going to try to get the runner at third. It's going to get away, and he's going to be able to come home for Lone Oak. It's going to be a 6-1 lead now for the Jackrabbits. That was the second out there for Lone Oak as they got the runner at first, but they tried to get the runner at third. The ball squirted away over to the fence in left field, and the runner was able to come home for the Jackrabbits for a 6-1 lead here in the top of the second inning. That brings up the Razorback commit, Steel Eves, coming to the plate now for the Jackrabbits. Two outs here in the top of the second, and a 6-1 lead. Here comes the 0 pitch from West in there for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Count evens up 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike here to Eves. Takes that one for a ball as well. Count goes to 2 balls, 1 strike here to Steel Eves. The pitcher for the Jackrabbits. Chops that one foul. Count will even up at 2-2. That one's outside. Count will go full. 3 balls, 2 strikes here to Steel Eves. Eves hits that one to Tubbs. It gets off his glove. Holmes will try to get it, and just not enough time to make the throw over to first. And that will be runners safe for the Jackrabbits over at first, as play is just not able to be made right there for Lachlan Tubbs from third. So still 2 outs here for the Jackrabbits in the top of the second, leading 6-1. Trip Sullivan back to the plate now for the Jackrabbits. Checks on the runner at first. Does Ty West. He's back safely. That one's outside. Runner goes. Throws down, but he is safe. Count will be 1-0 here to Sullivan. That one's just a tad high, says the umpire. Count goes to 2-0. Outside. 3-0 count here. In there for a strike. Count goes to 3-1. Full count here to Trip Sullivan. Here comes the payoff pitch from Ty West. Swing and a miss. Actually, he got foul tipped right there, so he will stay at the plate. Just barely got a piece of it. Did Sullivan. Count will stay full at 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at second, 2 outs for the Jackrabbits, leading 6-1. Here comes the payoff pitch in the dirt, and Sullivan will walk down to first. Runners at first and second now for the Jackrabbits. 2 outs in the top of the second. And that brings up number 1, Peyton Wallace, up to the plate now for the Jackrabbits. Wallace comes to the plate with a 6-1 lead. Runners at first and second, and 2 outs here in the top of the second. Here comes the 0-0 pitch from Ty West. It's outside. Count goes to 1-0. Swing and a miss at that one. Count will even up at 1-1. Tries a check on the runner at second. He's back safely. Count is 1-1 here to Peyton Wallace. They say they got him at second. Great throw right there by Ty West to pick off the runner at second base, and that will be the 3rd out for the Jackrabbits as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Your Panthers trail Lone Oak 6-1 here from the Heber Springs Sports Complex. We'll return back to the FL Davis Ace broadcast position here in a few moments. You're watching and listening to Heber Springs Panther Baseball on 101.9 The Lake. All right, back to action here in the bottom of the second inning from the Heber Springs Sports Complex. Billy Smallwood coming to you live from the FL Davis Ace broadcast position as Xander Lindley swings and misses at that one for an 0-2 count. Lone Oak leads 6-1 here over your Panthers. That one's outside to Lindley. Count goes to 1-2 here. Count evens up at 2-2 here to Xander. Swing and a miss there for Xander for another strikeout for Steele Eves, and that is the 1st out here for your Panthers in the bottom of the second. That brings up Maddox Shoemate, the second baseman for your Panthers, coming into the batter's box now with a trailing 6-1 here to the Lonoke Jackrabbits. And here comes the yellow pitch from Eves. Shoemate hits that one to the shortstop. Engel fields it for Lonoke and fires over to first for the second out for your Panthers in the bottom of the second. Logan Lozo comes up now for Heber Springs. Two outs here for Heber Springs in the bottom of the second. Trailing 6-1 here to the Lonoke Jackrabbits, the defending 4A state champions. And that one's taken for a strike from Lozo. 0-1 count, and that one's in there for a strike as well. Count goes 0-2. Strikeout there for Logan Lozo, and another strikeout for Steele Eves. That is the third out for your Panthers as we head to the top of the third inning. Lonoke leads 6-1 over Heber Springs from right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex. And we will return. Actually, we are going to take this opportunity to thank some more of our boosters and sponsors for allowing us to bring you today's live stream. Jet Fast Marine Consignment, The River Company, Survival Flight, Tim Brewer Shelter Insurance, Heber Springs Discount Tobacco, and Atomic Vapor. Want to thank all these Panther baseball and softball boosters for allowing us to bring you today's live stream. We will return back to the FL Davis Ace broadcast position here in just a few moments as your Panthers trail Lonoke 6-1 here from the Heber Springs Sports Complex. You're watching and listening to Heber Springs Panther Baseball on 101.9 The Lake. All right, back to action here in the top of the third inning from right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex. Billy Smallwood coming to you live from the FL Davis Ace broadcast position. And Peyton Wallace steps in for the Jackrabbits and swings and misses at that first pitch from Ty West for an 0-1 count here. Second pitch is in the dirt. Count goes to 1-1. Chops that one foul. Down the third base line, count will go to one ball and 2 strikes here. And there for a ball, count will even up at 2-2. Gets a tiny piece of that one. It chops it foul back to the screen. Count stays at 2-2. Pops that one up. Atwood has it in center field, and he's coming on for it for your Panthers, and he's got it for the fly out to center field, and that is the first out for the Jackrabbits here in the top of the third inning. Zavin Dyer comes up to the plate now for the Jackrabbits. One out here, top of the third. 6-1 lead for Lone Oak. And pops that one up to Shoemade at second. He's going to have the easy little blooper right there from Dyer for the second out here for the Jackrabbits in the top of the third. It's that one to West, and he fields it from the pitcher's mound and fires over to Lindley at first for the third out. And that will be the third out for the Jackrabbits here in the top of the third. We're going to head to the bottom of the third. Your Panthers will come to bat, trailing 6-1 here to the defending 4A state champions, the Lone Oak Jackrabbits, from right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex. I want to take this opportunity to thank some more of our boosters and sponsors for allowing us to bring you today's live stream. Heber Springs Discount Tobacco and Atomic Vapor, Tim Brewer Shelter Insurance, Survival Flight, The River Company, and Jet Fast Marine Consignment. I want to thank all these Panther baseball, softball boosters for allowing us to bring you today's live stream. We will return to the FL Davis Ace broadcast position here in just a few moments. You're watching and listening to Heber Springs Panther baseball on 101.9 The Lake. Back to action here in the bottom of the third inning. Billy Smallwood coming to you live from the FL Davis Ace broadcast position. And Nathan Weaver steps in for your Panthers. Swings and misses the first pitch. Pardon me, the first two pitches. And the count is 0-2 here to Weaver. Takes that one for a ball. Count goes to 1-2 here. Offers at that one. And umpire says he goes. That's a strikeout. So one out here for Heber Springs in the bottom of the third. Trailing Lone Oak 6-1 here from right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex. Top of the third inning. One out for Heber Springs. And number 13, Tanner Graham, comes to the plate now for Heber Springs. First pitch from Eves is sent out to third base. Actually, shortstop's going to field it for Eves, but Graham is going to beat out the throw to first, and he will be safe at first for your Panthers with one out here in the bottom of the third, trailing 6-1 here to the Lone Oak Jackrabbits. Joel Atwood comes to the plate now for Heber Springs. One out. Bottom of the third, runner at first, trailing 6-1 here to Lone Oak. Steele leaves a Razorback commit on the mound for Lone Oak, and here comes the 0-0 pitch in the dirt. Count goes to 1-0 here to Atwood. That one's high from Eves. Count goes to 2-0. That one barely clips Atwood, and he will walk down to first. And now Heber Springs has runners at first and second with one out here in the bottom of the third. And that brings up Cooper Holmes to the plate now for Heber Springs. Eves gets the sign, and here comes the 0-0 pitch. In there for strike one to Cooper Holmes. A 1 pitch in the dirt. Count goes to 1-1 here. 1 ball, 1 strike here to Cooper Holmes. Holmes skies that one in the infield. Pitcher Eve says he's got it, and he's got it for the Jackrabbits, and that is the second out for Heber Springs in the bottom of the third. Ty West steps in the batter's box now for Heber Springs. 2 outs for your Panthers in the bottom of the third, and takes the first pitch for a strike. Count goes 0-1. Runners at first and second for your Panthers. Trailing 6-1 here to the defending 4A state champion, the Lone Oak Jackrabbits. That one's in the dirt. Runner goes. He's going to be safe. Graham takes off from second to third. He's going to be safe at third. Count is even to Ty West at 1-1. And now Panthers have runners at first and third with 2 outs in the bottom of the third. Swing and a miss there from Ty West. Count goes to 1-2 here. Here comes a 1-2 pitch from Eves. West offers it that one. Umpire says it's a strike anyways. And that is a strikeout for Eves, and that is the third out for your Panthers here in the bottom of the third. So Lone Oak still leads 6-1 here over Heber Springs from right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex. And we will return to the FL Davis Ace broadcast position here in just a few moments. We're going to take this opportunity to thank some more of our Panther baseball softball boosters for allowing us to bring you today's live stream. Lake Town Wellness, Allen Furniture, Carissa Clemens, and Bryce Farmer with First Trust Home Loans. Ivy Physical Therapy and Tracy Hudspeth with Cleveland County Farm Bureau Insurance. Want to thank all these Panther baseball and softball boosters for allowing us to bring you today's live stream. We will return to the FL Davis Ace broadcast position here in just a few moments. You're watching and listening to Heber Springs Panther Baseball, 101.9 The Lake. All right, back to action here from the Heber Springs Sports Complex. Lone Oak leads 6-1 here over your Panthers in this conference doubleheader, the first game of the conference doubleheader. Billy Smallwood coming to you live from the FL Davis Ace broadcast position. And that pitch is outside for a ball. Count goes to 1-0 here. Second pitch from Ty West is chopped foul. Count will even up 1 ball, 1 strike here. That is number 2, Jackson Engel at the plate for the Jackrabbits, the UCA commit. Here comes the 1-1 pitch from Ty West. Little high, says the umpire. Count goes to 2-1. That one's in there for a strike. Count evens up, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Umpire says this count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes here on Engel. And Engel hits that one past Lindley at first and out into right field. He will have a single for the Jackrabbits here to start off the top of the 4th. Lone Oak still leads 6-1 over Heber Springs. And now they have a runner at first and no outs here in the top of the 4th. And that brings up number 11. That is Cutter Colvert. Coming to the plate now for Lone Oak. Colvert playing over at third base today for the Jackrabbits. And here comes the 0-0 pitch from Ty West. Checks on the runner at first, and he is safe. And now West gets the sign and deals the 0-0 pitch, and that one's chopped foul. Count will go to 0-1 here to Cutter Culver. Oh, 1 pitch here from Ty West. Checks on the runner at first again. He's safe. Gets the sign, and here comes the 0-1 pitch from Ty West, and Culver pops that one up. Atwood coming on for it, and he's got it for your Panthers. Shoemate had a look at it for just a second, but then he was called off by center fielder Joel Atwood, and he makes the catch for your Panthers. And that will be a fly out to center field for Cutter Colvert, and that will bring up number 22. That is William Payne back to the plate now for Lone Oak. 1 out here for the Jackrabbits in the top of the 4th. And a runner at first with a 6-1 lead over Heber Springs. And that one is in the dirt. Runner goes, and he is safe at second with no throw from Widener. Count will be 1-0 here to Payne, as that one was in the dirt for a ball. So runner at second now for the Jackrabbits. And here comes the 1-0 pitch from West, and in there for a strike. Count evens up at 1 ball, 1 strike here to William Payne. Payne skies that one. Right fielder coming on for it for your Panthers. That is Nathan Weaver. And he makes the catch for the 2nd out for the Jackrabbits in the top of the 4th. But runner tags for the Jackrabbits and heads to third safely. And runner will be now at third for the Jackrabbits with 2 outs in the top of the 4th and a 6-1 lead. And that brings Zavane Dyer back to the plate now for Lone Oak. And here comes the 0-0 pitch from Ty West. Dyer pops that one out to left field. Graham going for it. He's got it for your Panthers for the third out for Lone Oak here in the top of the fourth. We will head to the bottom of the fourth. Your Panthers come to bat, trailing 6-1 here to the defending 4A state champion Lone Oak Jackrabbits right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex. We will return to the F.L. Davis Ace broadcast position here in just a few moments. You're watching and listening to Heber Springs Panther Baseball, 101.9 The Lake. All right, back to action here from the Heber Springs Sports Complex. Billy Smallwood coming to you live from the F.L. Davis Ace broadcast position. Xander Lindley takes that first pitch and swings and misses for a strike and an 0-1 count. Panthers trail 6-1 here to the defending 4A state champion Lone Oak Jackrabbits from the Heber Springs Sports Complex. And that one's taken outside by Lindley for a ball. Count goes to 1-1. That one's outside to Lindley. Also, count will go to 2 balls and 1 strike here to Xander. Xander pulls back on that one. Count will go to 3-1. That one's in there for a strike. Count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes here to Xander Lindley. 1 out here for your Panthers. Bottom of the 4th inning. Trailing 6-1, and that one's fouled off by Lindley. Count will stay full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. That one's low to Lindley, and he will take a walk down to first. Heber Springs now has a runner at first with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. And Maddox Shoemate, the second baseman, comes up to the plate now for Heber Springs. Trailing 6-1 here to the Jackrabbits. Steele Eves gets the sign and deals the 0-0 pitch, and Maddox Shoemate fouls that one off back to the screen for an 0-1 count. one's in there for a strike. Count goes to 0-2 here to Shoemate. Oh, 2 count to Shoemate. Eves gets the sign. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss from Shoemate, and that is another strikeout for Eves. 2 outs here for Heber Springs now in the bottom of the 4th. Trailing 6-1 to the defending 4A state champion Lone Oak Jackrabbits. Right here from the Heber Springs Sports Complex. And with a runner on first, Lozo takes the first pitch outside and swings and misses for an 0-1 count. Takes that one for strike number 2. 0-2 count to Lozo. Runner at first. 2 outs for the Panthers here in the bottom of the 4th, trailing 6-1. And here comes the 0-2 pitch from Eves. Down low. Count goes to 1-2. Checks on the runner at first. He's safe. Lindley goes. Ball is passed, and Lindley will be safe at second off the pass ball. Count will even up at 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Lozo. So Logan Lozo, 2-2 count. Runner at second. Here comes the 2-2 pitch from Eves, and that one is inside to Lozo. Count will go full. 3 balls and 2 strikes here. And that one is strike 3 for Lozo, and for Steele Eves, another strikeout, and that is the 3rd out for your Panthers here in the bottom of the 4th. We will head to the top of the 5th inning, and Lone Oak will come to bat, leading 6-1 over your Heber Springs Panthers from right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex. I want to take this opportunity to thank some of our boosters and sponsors for allowing us to bring you today's live stream. Graham Plumbing, Baptist Health, Red River Dodge, Brothers Barbecue, and Angie Collins Shelter Insurance. I want to thank all these Panther baseball and softball boosters for allowing us to bring you today's live stream. We will return to the FL Davis Ace broadcast position here in just a few moments. You're watching and listening to Heber Springs Panther Baseball on 101.9 The Lake. All right, back to action here in the top of the 5th inning as Steele Eves, the Razorback commit from the Lone Oak Jackrabbits, steps into the batter's box and takes a 1-0 count from Ty West. Lone Oak leads 6-1 over your Heber Springs Panthers here in the top of the 5th inning. Takes the second pitch for a ball. 2-0 count here to Steele Eves. Billy Smallwood coming to you live from the FL Davis Ace broadcast position from right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex. And Eves chops that one foul and brings the count to 2-1 here to the Razorback commit. Chops that one foul also. Count will even up at 2 balls and 2 strikes here to steal Eves. Here comes the 2-2 pitch from Ty West. Eves rockets that one out to right field, and that one's past Weaver. Eves is going to run to second. He's going to have a double easily for the Jackrabbits. And there are no outs for Lone Oak here in the top of the 5th as Eves coasts into second with a double. And the Lone Oak leads at 6-1 here in the top of the 5th. And that will bring up, that is number 9, Trip Sullivan for the Lone Oak Jackrabbits to the plate now. With a runner on second, no outs here in the top of the 5th, and a 6-1 lead here for the Jackrabbits. Ty West gets the sign, and he deals the 0-0 pitch, and Sullivan lays down a bunt. Widener fields it, fires over to Lindley at first for the out. As a matter of fact, I think the umpire said he beat the throw out, so he is safe over there at first. That's exactly right. He is safe over at first. Runners safe all around. Runners at first and third now for the Jackrabbits. No outs here in the top of the 5th. And a 6-1 lead, and here comes Peyton Wallace to the plate now for the Jackrabbits. Here gets the sign and deals for West, and Wallace chops that one foul for an 0-1 count. A 0-1 pitch to Wallace. He tries to place down a bunt but misses, so count will go 0-2 here. No balls, 2 strikes here to Peyton Wallace, the Lone Oak Jackrabbits second baseman. No outs here for the Jackrabbits. Top of the 5th. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from West, and Wallace fouls that one off. Widener thought he might have a play on it for a second, but no going there for the Panther catcher, and we will head back. West will head back to the mound, and Wallace heads back to the batter's box. Count stays 0-2. Runners at first and third for the Jackrabbits. No outs here in the top of the 5th. Lone Oak leads 6-1 over your Heber Springs Panthers from right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex. And here comes the 0-2 pitch. It's inside to Wallace. Runner goes from first, and he is safe. Runners at second and third now for the Jackrabbits. And a 1-2 count here to Peyton Wallace. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from West, and a strikeout there for Ty West. As that one strike 3 to Peyton Wallace, and that's the first out here for Lone Oak in the top of the 5th inning. As Van Dyer comes to the plate now. Actually, pardon me, that is number 15, Kalen Calhoun, coming to the plate now for the Jackrabbits, the designated hitter. And that one's high, and it looks like it might get a run home for the Jackrabbits. And it will, as he slides underneath the tag of Ty West. And that will make it 7-1 in favor of Lone Oak. Count will be 1-0 here to Calhoun. One ball, no strikes here to Kalen Calhoun. Runner on third, and 1 out here for the Jackrabbits. And Calhoun swings and chops that one foul. Count goes to 1-1. Comes the 1-1 pitch from West. In there for a strike. Count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Kalen Calhoun, the designated hitter for the Jackrabbits. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. A little high, says the umpire. Count will even up 2-2. Comes a 2-2 pitch. Little low. Count will go full here to Calhoun. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Lone Oak leads it 7-1 here in the top of the 5th, and that one's outside to Calhoun. He will walk down to first and put runners at first and third for the Jackrabbits with 1 out here in the top of the 5th and a 7-1 lead over Heber Springs. Tanner Starks comes to the plate now for the Jackrabbits. Runners at first and third. 1 out here for Lone Oak in the top of the 5th, leading Heber Springs 7-1 in the first game of this conference doubleheader from right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex. Lone Oak comes in to this conference matchup 4-0 on the conference season already, 13-2 overall. Throw down to second as he is out. That will be the second out, but another run comes in to score for the Jackrabbits. Makes it 8-1 in favor of the defending 4A state champs. That one's high to Starks. Two outs for the Jackrabbits. Top of the 5th. That one's outside to Starks. Count goes to 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike here to Tanner Starks. Two outs for the Jackrabbits in the top of the 5th. And that one is slapped out to right field. It's going to be fair. Starks heads around first, and he's headed into second. He might be headed around second, and he's going to hold up at second with a double as he slapped that one down the right field line and was able to get a double out of it for the Jackrabbits, a 2-out double nonetheless. And Lone Oak has a runner on second with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th and an 8-1 lead, and Coach Kevin Youngblood is going to come back out and have another meeting with the Heber Springs Panthers. All right, so back to action here after the quick meeting from Coach Kevin Youngblood, and Jackson Ingle steps in for the Lone Oak Jackrabbits and takes the first pitch for a strike and an 0-1 count. Runner at second for the Jackrabbits, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th, and that one's outside. Count will go to 1-1. Lone Oak leads at 8-1 here over your Heber Springs Panthers from right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex. Billy Smallwood coming to you live from the F.L. Davis ace broadcast position. And that one's in the dirt to Ingle. Count will go to 2-1. Two one pitch here from Ty West. Ingle skies that one. Lachlan Tubbs has it at third, and now Cooper Holmes calls him off at short, and he will have it for your Heber Springs Panthers. That will be the 3rd out for the Jackrabbits in the top of the 5th We will head to the bottom of the fifth. Lone Oak leads at 8-1 over your Heber Springs Panthers from right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex. We want to take this opportunity to thank some of our boosters and sponsors for allowing us to bring you today's live stream. Renewed Church, Arrows Cafe and Barbecue, Centennial Bank, Advanced Insurance Services, a resource center for United Healthcare, and Stevenson Oil Company. I want to thank all these Panther baseball and softball boosters for allowing us to bring you today's live stream. We will return to the F.L. Davis Ace Broadcast Position Center here in just a few moments. You're watching and listening to Heber Springs Panther Baseball on 101.9 The Lake. All right, back to action here in the bottom of the fifth inning as your Panthers come to the batter's box to bat now. Nathan Weaver steps in and takes the first pitch for a strike in an 0-1 count. Heber Springs trails Lone Oak 8-1 here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Billy Smallwood coming to you live from the F.L. Davis Ace broadcast position from right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex, and that one will plunk Nathan Weaver, and he will head down to first, and Heber Springs will have a runner on first with no outs here in the bottom of the fifth, and it looks like the Lone Oak coach is going to argue whether or not Weaver was in the process of swinging whenever he got hit by that pitch. And now the umpires are going to go discuss the decision here. And they are going to say that he was indeed hit by the pitch. So Weaver safe at first for Heber Springs with no outs here in the bottom of the fifth. And that brings up left fielder Tanner Graham to the plate. Takes the first pitch for a ball and a 1-0 count here to Graham. Second pitch from Eves is in there for a strike. Count goes to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike here to Tanner Graham, the Heber Springs left fielder. Trailing 8-1 to the defending 4A state champions, Lone Oak Jackrabbits. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss from Graham. Strike number 2. Count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes here. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from Eves. Little low. Count evens up, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Graham chops that one foul. Back to the screen. Count will stay 2-2 here to the Heber Springs left fielder. Runner at first for your Panthers. No outs here in the bottom of the fifth. Trailing Lone Oak 8-1. From right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex, Graham gets ready in the batter's box. Eves gets the sign, and here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss from Graham, and that is another strikeout for Steele Eves. First out for Heber Springs in the bottom of the fifth. And here comes Joel Atwood to the plate now for Heber Springs. One out in the bottom of the fifth inning, and takes that one low in the dirt for a 1-0 count here. Here comes the 1-0 pitch from Steele Eves. Atwood swings and misses. Count goes to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. To the Heber Springs center fielder. And here comes the 1-1 pitch from Eves. Outside, count will go to 2 balls and 1 strike here to Joel Atwood. Two 2-1 pitches outside to Atwood. The count goes to 3-1. 3-1 pitch in there. Strike number 2. Count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes here to Joel Atwood. 1 out here for your Panthers in the bottom of the fifth, trailing 8-1 to the defending 4A state champion, the Lone Oak Jackrabbits. And here comes the payoff pitch, and it's in there for strike number 3, and another strikeout for Steele Eves. That will be out number 2 for your Panthers in the bottom of the fifth. And here comes Cooper Holmes to the plate. Your Panthers shortstop. Runner on first, 2 outs. Bottom of the fifth, trailing 8-1, and swings and misses at that first pitch from Steele Eves, and making the count 0-1 to Cooper Holmes. That one's inside to Holmes. Count goes to 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. A little high. Count goes to 2 balls, 1 strike here. Cooper Holmes. Your Panthers shortstop. Runner at first. 2 outs for your Panthers in the bottom of the fifth, trailing 8-1. Here to Lone Oak, and here comes the 2-1 pitch. In there for a strike. Count evens up. 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Cooper Holmes. That one gets past the first baseman, and Nathan Weaver will head down to second safely for your Panthers. Count stays at 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Cooper Holmes. 2 outs for your Panthers. Bottom of the fifth. Lone Oak leads at 8-1 over Heber Springs. And here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss from Cooper Holmes. And that is another strikeout for Steele Eves. And that is the 3rd out for your Panthers here in the bottom of the fifth. We're going to head to the top of the 6th inning. Lone Oak leads at 8-1 over Heber Springs from right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex. We're going to take this opportunity to thank some of our boosters and sponsors for allowing us to bring you today's live stream. Hopper Termite Pest Control, Reed Hutchins Pharmacy, First National Bank, Ed LaShawn State Farm Insurance, and First Electric Cooperative. I want to thank all these Panther baseball and softball boosters for allowing us to bring you today's live stream. We will return back to the FL Davis Ace broadcast position here in just a few moments. You're watching and listening to Heber Springs Panther Baseball on 101.9 The Lake. All right, back to action here from the Heber Springs Sports Complex as Lone Oak leads 8-1 over your Heber Springs Panthers as we start the top of the 6th inning from right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex. Billy Smallwood coming to you live from the FL Davis Ace broadcast position. And Cutter Culvert leads off the top of the 6th for the Jackrabbits and sends that one into center field. Atwood going back for it, and he's got it for your Panthers. Nearly let it go over his head out there, but he's able to corral it for Heber Springs, and that's the first out for the Jackrabbits here in the top of the 6th inning. That brings up number 22. That is William Payne in the batter's box now for Lone Oak, leading 8-1 over your Heber Springs Panthers in the first game of this conference doubleheader from right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex. And Cooper Holmes is now on the mound for your Panthers, and he fires that first pitch in there for a ball to William Payne, and a 1-0 count. Here comes the 1-0 pitch from Holmes. Outside, count goes 2-0. Two-0 pitch from Holmes. High. Count goes 3-0. And that one's going to plunk William Payne in the back, and he will walk down to first for the Lone Oak Jackrabbits. And Lone Oak has a runner at first with one out here in the top of the 6th, leading 8-1 over your Heber Springs Panthers. And that will bring up number 45, Zavine Dyer, for the Jackrabbits. Dyer hits that one out to right field, and Weaver has it out there for your Panthers for the second out in the top of the 6th. And that brings up the dangerous Razorback commit, Steele Eves, the pitcher for the Lone Oak Jackrabbits, with a runner on first and 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Here comes the 0-0 pitch from Cooper Holmes. And Eves pops that one up, and Widener thought he had a play on it for a minute, and it's going to hit the box back here. Count goes to 0-1 here to Eves. Eves rips that one in between Ty West and Lachlan Tubbs at shortstop and third, and he will have a single for the Jackrabbits with 2 outs in the top of the 6th, and a runner on first and second now for Lone Oak with an 8-1 lead in the top of the 6th inning with 2 outs. And we're going to have Coach Youngblood just going to bring out a couple baseballs here to the umpire, and that will bring up Trip Sullivan, the center fielder for Lone Oak. He will come to the plate now for the Jackrabbits with runners on first and second and 2 outs here in the top of the 6th and an 8-1 lead. Cooper Holmes gets the sign, and here comes the 0-0 pitch. That one's way outside, and the runners will advance up 1 base for the Jackrabbits to second and third. Count will be 1-0 here to Trip Sullivan. Swing and a miss there from Sullivan. Count will go to 1-1 here. That one's in the dirt, but Widener is able to keep it in front of him, and runners will have to stay put, and that will make the count 2-1 here to Trip Sullivan, the Lone Oak Jackrabbit center fielder. Here comes the 2-1 pitch from Holmes. Going to have a throw down to third, but Tubbs slips, and the ball gets past him, and a run comes in to score for the Jackrabbits, making it 9-1. Runner is also safe at third, coming from second. And there is a 3-1 count here to Trip Sullivan. So here comes the 3-1 pitch from Cooper Holmes. And Sullivan swings and misses at that one. Count will go full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here to the Jackrabbit center fielder with a runner on third. And 2 outs here in the top of the 6th, leading 8-1 over your Heber Springs Panthers. Here comes the payoff pitch from Cooper Holmes. It's a little high, and Sullivan walks down to first. So runners at the corners now for the Jackrabbits at first and third. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Lone Oak leads at 9-1 over Heber Springs. Peyton Wallace comes to the plate now for the Jackrabbits. Cooper Holmes gets the sign, and he deals the 0-0 pitch in there for an 0-1 count, strike number 1. Holmes gets a sign. He deals the 0-1 pitch. Wallace slaps at that one and chops it foul. Count will go to 0-2 here to Wallace. No balls, 2 strikes here. Runners at the corners. 2 outs here for the Jackrabbits in the top of the 6th, leading 9-1 over Heber Springs. And here comes the 0-2 pitch from Cooper Holmes. Swing and a miss, but it is fouled off by Wallace. So runner will have to go back to first, and count will stay at 0-2 here. Wallace chops that one foul. Keeps the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Two outs here for the Jackrabbits in the top of the 6th. Runners at the corners, and a 9-1 lead for Lone Oak. And here comes the 0-2 pitch. Checks on the runner at first. He's safe. Holmes is ready, gets the sign. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Little inside, runner goes. He is safe at second, and count will go to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from Cooper Holmes. In there for strike 3. And a strikeout for Cooper Holmes as that gets the Panthers out of the top of the inning. Lone Oak scores only 1, and they lead it 9-1 now over your Heber Springs Panthers from right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex. We will head to the bottom of the 6th inning from right here at the FL Davis Ace broadcast position. We want to thank some of our boosters and sponsors for allowing us to bring you today's live stream. First Electric Cooperative, Ed LaShawn State Farm Insurance, First National Bank, Reed Hutchins Pharmacy, and Hopper Termite and Pest Control. We want to thank all these Panther baseball and softball boosters for allowing us to bring you today's live stream. We will return back to the FL Davis Ace broadcast position here in just a few moments. You're watching and listening to Heber Springs Panther Baseball, 101.9 The Lake. All right, back to action here in the bottom of the 6th inning as your Panthers are in the batter's box now. Ty West steps in and takes the first pitch for an 0-1 count from Steele Eves and fouls the second pitch off for an 0-2 count. Billy Smallwood coming to you live from the FL Davis Ace broadcast position from right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex. Ty West with an 0-2 count, and Heber Springs trails 9-1 to the defending 4A state champion Lone Oak Jackrabbits. Ty West chops that one foul also. Count stays at 0-2 here. That one's outside and hits the catcher's shoe and then bounces back to the backstop. Count will go to 1-2 here to Ty West. Eves gets the sign, and here comes the 1-2 pitch. In there for strike 3. Another strikeout for Steele Eves, a Razorback commit. And the first out for Heber Springs in the bottom of the 6th. Gavin Widener comes to the plate now for Heber Springs. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Widener hits that one out to left field. It's slicing foul, and it is foul. Count will go to 0-1 here to Gavin Widener. Oh, 0-1 count here to Widener. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Eves. In the dirt. Count goes to 1-1. A 1-1 pitch from Eves. In there for strike 2. Eves gets the sign, and he deals a 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss from Widener. Out number 2 for Heber Springs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And here comes Xander Lindley to the plate, the Heber Springs first baseman. Eve gets a sign and deals the 0-0 pitch to Lindley. In there for a strike and an 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch is inside. Count goes to 1-1. That one's low. Count goes to 2-1. That one's in there for a strike. Count evens up at 2-2. Here to Xander Lindley. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs for your Panthers. Bottom of the 6th, and here comes the 2-2 pitch. It's in the dirt. Count will go full. 3 balls, 2 strikes here to Xander Lindley. Comes the payoff pitch, and it's in there for strike number 3. Eves has been on a roll today on the mound for the Jackrabbits, and that is the 3rd out for your Panthers here in the bottom of the 6th inning. We will head to the top of the 7th. Lone Oak leads at 9-1 over your Heber Springs Panthers from right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex. We're going to take this opportunity to thank some of our boosters and sponsors for allowing us to bring you today's live stream. Renew Church, Arrows Cafe and Barbecue, Centennial Bank, Advanced Insurance Services, a resource center for United Healthcare, and Stevenson Oil Company. I want to thank all these Panther baseball and softball boosters for allowing us to bring you today's live stream. We will return to the FL Davis Ace broadcast position here in just a few moments. You're watching and listening to Heber Springs Panther Baseball, 101.9 The Lake. All right, back to action here in the top of the 7th inning from right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex. Billy Smallwood coming to you live from the FL Davis Ace broadcast position as the Lone Oak Jackrabbits, the defending 4A state champions, lead your Heber Springs Panthers 9-1 here in the top of the 7th inning. And Kalen Calhoun steps in, takes the 1-0 pitch for a strike, and that evens up the count at 1-1 here to the Lone Oak designated hitter. And that one hits him, and he will walk down to first after a hit by pitch. And that will bring up number 29. That is Tanner Starks for the Lone Oak Jackrabbits with a runner on first and no outs here in the top of the 7th. Leading Heber Springs 9-1, and Holmes checks over on the runner at first. He is back safely. Holmes gets the sign, checks on the runner at first, and then he deals the 0-0 pitch in there in the dirt. Count goes 1-0. That one's in there for a strike. Count goes to 1-1. In the dirt. Count goes 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike here to Tanner Starks, the Lone Oak left fielder. And here comes the 2-1 pitch from Cooper Holmes. Outside, count goes to 3-1. That one's in the dirt. Ball 4, and Starks will walk down to first. Runners at first and second here in the top of the 7th. No outs here for the Lone Oak Jackrabbits, leading 9-1 over your Heber Springs Panthers. And here comes Jackson Engel back to the plate now for the Jackrabbits, the UCA commit. And Holmes gets the sign, and he deals in there for a strike and an 0-1 count. And that ball gets past the first baseman. Runners will advance to second and third. Count will be 0-1 here to Engel. Runners at second and third. No outs for the Jackrabbits here in the top of the 7th with a 9-1 lead. And here comes the 0-0 pitch, the 0-1 pitch from Cooper Holmes. And Engel hits that one to Shoemate at second, fires over to Lindley at first for the out. That will be 1 out here for the Jackrabbits in the top of the 7th, but a run comes in to score from third, and that makes it 10-1 in favor of the Jackrabbits. Cutter Culvert comes to the plate now for Lone Oak. 1 out here in the top of the 7th with a 10-1 lead and a runner at third. And Culvert pops that one up, and Atwood looks like he's going for it, and Weaver calls him off in right. He makes the catch, and a runner tags from third and scores to make it 11-1 in favor of the Jackrabbits. 2 outs for the Jackrabbits in the top of the 7th. And that brings up number 22. That is William Payne back to the plate now for Lone Oak. 2 outs in the top of the 7th and an 11-1 lead for the defending 4A state champion Lone Oak Jackrabbits. And that one's high to Payne for a 1-0 count. That one's inside for a strike. Count goes to 1-1. Payne pops that one up, and it's in no man's land, and Graham could not make the catch out there in left field, and Payne is going to end up at second. That one just in shallow left where just nobody could get to it out there, and Lachlan Tubbs, Ty West, and Tanner Graham were all converging on it. Just and Graham came on for it late, just could not make the catch out there and left, and Payne will be safe at second. After that, dropped the ball, and that will be 2 outs. Still 2 outs here for the Jackrabbits in the top of the 7th, and that brings up number 45. That is Zavane Dyer to the plate now for Lone Oak with a runner on second. 2 outs in the top of the 7th and an 11-1 lead, and that one gets past Widener behind the plate, and runner will advance to third for the Jackrabbits. And a 1-0 count here to Dyer. Holmes gets the sign. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. And that one's inside. Count goes to 2-0. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Little outside. Count goes 3 balls, no strikes. That one's in there for a strike. Count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike here to Zavane Dyer. Holmes gets the sign. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Hits that one back to Holmes. He fields it and tosses it over to Lindley at first, and that'll be the 3rd out for the Jackrabbits here in the top of the 7th. We will head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Your Panthers trail the Lone Oak Jackrabbits 11-1 here from the Heber Springs Sports Complex. We want to take a chance to thank some more of our boosters and sponsors for allowing us to bring you today's live stream. Angie Collins Shelter Insurance, Brothers Barbecue, Red River Dodge, Baptist Health, and Graham Plumbing. Want to thank all these Panther baseball and softball boosters for allowing us to bring you today's live stream. And we will return to the FL Davis Ace broadcast position here in just a few moments. You're watching and listening to Heber Springs Panther Baseball on 101.9 The Lake. All right, back to action here in the bottom of the 7th inning. From right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex, your Heber Springs Panthers trail the defending 4A state champion Lone Oak Jackrabbits 11-1 here. Billy Smallwood coming to you live from the FL Davis Ace broadcast position. And Maddox Shoemate is in the batter's box for Heber Springs, and he takes an 0-2 count here. And here comes the 0-2 pitch from Steele Eves, and it's inside a little bit there to Shoemate. And count will be 1-2 here to Maddox. Eves gets the sign and deals the 1-2 pitch, and Shoemate slaps that one foul. Count will stay at 1-2 here. One and two count here to Shoemate, and here comes the 1-2 pitch from Steel Eves. Shoemate swings and fouls that one off as well. Count stays at 1-2 here. Comes a 1-2 pitch. Chops that one foul. Shoemate staying alive here. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss from Shoemate, and that will be the first out for Heber Springs here in the bottom of the 7th. Third baseman Lachlan Tubbs steps into the batter's box now for Heber Springs. And it might be a day for Steel Eves. We are going to have a visit here, and it looks like just going to have a little visit here. Lachlan Tubbs coming to the plate now for Heber Springs, and Heber Springs trails 11-1 here to the defending 4A state champion Lone Oak Jackrabbits here in the bottom of the 7th inning with one out. And Lachlan Tubbs will step in against Steel Eves, and here comes the 0 pitch outside for ball 1 and a 1-0 count. Eves gets a sign and deals a 1-0 pitch to Tubbs, and Tubbs swings and misses at that one. Count will even up. 1 ball and 1 strike. A 1-1 pitch. Another swing and a miss. Strike 2 against Lachlan Tubbs. 1 ball, 2 strikes here. And here comes the 1-2 pitch outside. Count evens up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the 2-2. Umpire says strike 3, and that's another strikeout for Steel Eves for the Lone Oak Jackrabbits, and that is the second out for Heber Springs in the bottom of the 7th. And that will bring up number 4. That is Nathan Weaver, the right fielder for Heber Springs, down to their final out, and that one is in there for a ball. Count goes to 1-0 to Weaver. One 0 pitch is in there for a strike, evens up the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 pitch outside. Count goes to 2-1. That one's in there for a strike as well. Count evens up 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Nathan Weaver. Panthers possibly down to their final strike in the first game of this doubleheader against the defending 4A state champions, and that one is strike 3, and that is your ball game as Lone Oak takes the first game of this conference doubleheader 11-1 over your Heber Springs Panthers from right here at the Heber Springs Sports Complex. We want to thank everybody for tuning in to today's live stream right here on the lake, and that will drop your Panthers to 0-3 in conference play, and that will improve the Lone Oak Jackrabbits to 5-0 in conference play. Heber Springs drops to 5-9 on the season overall, and Lone Oak improves to 14-2 on the season overall. We want to thank everybody once again for tuning in to our live stream. Thank all of our boosters and sponsors for sponsoring us and giving us the opportunity to bring you these live streams. And for Allie Sugg, Billy Morgan, and everybody at 101.9 The Lake, we will see you on the next live stream for Panther Baseball or Softball Panther